So I decided to digress on today's installment, and instead of doing a review or commentary on Asian culture, I decided to do a list. No, this is not a top 10 list of favorite anime, but rather a list of anime that I would like to see as live action movies. And it is going to be a two-part installment, so welcome to part 1. Just to be clear, I will not be talking about projects that are currently in production or have made major headway in the past 18 months to becoming a movie adaptation. These are a list of anime that I think should start on the path of becoming a live-action movie. So without further ado, let's get started. Oh, and I may let out some spoilers along the way here, so now would be a good place to stop if you don't want to hear it. Okay, you've been warned, so without further ado, here we go. Mobile Suit Gundam 80, or In the Pocket. This is one of the best anime ever made in terms of story. That's just my honest opinion. The story takes place in the original Gundam timeline and is centered around a colony on Side 6 that has remained neutral during the Zeon Federation War. The Federation had launched a Gundam prototype to be secretly housed and upgraded on this particular colony. Zeon got wind of this and sent a secret commando team to destroy the prototype. The team takes on a fresh recruit named Bernie, who gets shot down on his first mission, but is taken care of and befriended by a schoolboy who lives on that colony. As the miniseries goes on, Bernie starts a relationship with the boy's former babysitter, who happens to be the test pilot for the Gundam. Neither is aware of the other's involvement in the war, and things go tragically wrong for everyone during the course of the anime. As I said, in terms of story, this is one of the best anime out there, certainly in the Gundam canon. The anime actually stands on its own, and I feel that the movie wouldn't require much in the way of backstory to bring the viewer up to speed. In other words, you don't really need to be well versed in Gundam lore to get this anime. Given that the level of CGI is so good today, as demonstrated in the Transformers franchise, I feel that this would be an easy movie to make. The actual involvement of mecha is quite limited. Outside of the first scene of the anime, only 4 mecha make appearances, and that's including the Gundam. This movie would instead be story and character driven, so as in any movie, the trick would be getting the right cast for it. Onward to Our Noble Deaths. Okay, this isn't really an anime, but a manga by Shigeru Mizuki. I did a review of this a while ago, and you can find a link down below if you would like to see that review. Also, just to let you know, this has already been done as a Japanese television series, but not as a movie. This manga is an autobiographical account of Mizuki's involvement in World War II as a soldier. While based on his actions in the Pacific, the story is still somewhat fictional. It is a story of his unit fighting Americans in the South Pacific and its ultimate destruction. It is a story about the brutality of war, the stupidity of war, and the notion of honorably dying for lost causes. Over the past 15 years, Hollywood has increasingly done better and better, for the most part, of making World War II movies. I feel that the story can be condensed into a movie script and done well. It would also give American moviegoers a point of view that doesn't get filmed very often, other than exceptional movies like Letters from Iwo Jima, which gives an accessible portrayal of World War II from the Japanese perspective. Akira. Yeah, I went there. For those of you who don't know Akira, all I can say is watch it. This is the anime production that is most likely responsible for creating the current foundation of making anime popular in American culture. Akira has so many levels to it in terms of meaning, but the best way to describe it is the same way Godzilla is described: a cultural feel of weapons of mass destruction and its consequences of use. Remember, the USA is the only country to use nuclear weapons in war, and Japan is the only country to be on the receiving end of such a weapon. The anime is centered around the concept that man can recreate and control forces of nature. In doing so, Japan has created a secret program of creating humans with superhuman capabilities. Most of the children involved developed various powers, usually psychic or telekinetic. However, one child, Akira, essentially became a force of nature of vast destructive potential. But he disappeared. Actually, he didn't, but watch the movie to find out more. The story then comes to the present in 2019, where a group of teenage punks who make up a motorcycle gang get caught up in the middle of a government op to retrieve one of the children of the first experiment who escaped, and as a result, a member of the gang, Tetsuo, is hurt and taken by government forces. As the movie progresses, you find out that Tetsuo may have the same capabilities as the child Akira, and the movie goes on from there. This movie would require a large budget to do it right, but it would be worth it. The movie would have to start as the anime does, with the utter destruction of Tokyo, which appears to be a nuclear attack ushering in World War III. There is a lot of destruction in this movie, and it is heavy on concepts like The Matrix and a whole metric crapload of action. The production of the anime itself was groundbreaking with the use of new techniques and the creation of actual new colors. The live action movie, would have to live up to that, and it would require a level of detail and scale of hugeness to complete it. The biggest problem I see with making this as a live action flick is the final action scene in the Olympic Stadium where Tetsuo finally comes into his cosmic powers. I can see where the wrong choice in director can cheapen this entire scene and make it look laughable. Okay, that's it for today, and there will be an upload next week, so please come back. In the meantime, please check out the links below, including the ones for the AMV contest. Alright, this has been the Yanagi Observer, and as always, I am Steve Gearhart. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.